Alright, Blue Ravenfire here, and I'm just here to give my review on Godzilla and Kong, the new Empire movie. And wow, this was a movie. It had definitely had a lot of crazy and wacky special effects, a lot of action. I mean, definitely a lot of monster action. Yes, just a lot of wild and crazy monster action in it. It definitely does things that you wouldn't normally see in a monster movie. And it definitely does have the Showa Godzilla era movie vibes. Like, it has a lot of mythical, ancient tribal elements in it. The closest movies I can compare it to is the 1960s Mothra vs. Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Megalon. Both those movies had a lot of tribal elements in it, and fantasy elements in it, and so did this movie. Yeah, I did think this movie was visually stunning. Um, you know, wonky special effects aside, I did really enjoy that this movie explored the more of the Hollow Earth. It showed a lot more of the creatures and environments in the Hollow Earth, and I also liked the huge crystal temple area where the Yui tribe was. So yeah, it's definitely visual eye candy in that respect. I thought all of the monster characters were great in this movie. I really enjoy Kong in this movie. They definitely put a lot more emotion and personality into him. Like, you really get a sense of connection and relatability with this character. And as for Godzilla, even though he wasn't in the movie hell of a lot, I still like the scenes he was in. You still get the sense he's a intimidating and powerful force of nature. And I did like him in the rematch with Kong in Cairo, Egypt, and I did like his part in the final fight scene. Like, he does a lot of kind of wild and crazy things that he hasn't done in the previous MonsterVerse movies. And then there was Suka. No, the Scar King. I want to talk about Scar King next. Scar King was a good villain in this movie. He definitely has that really charismatic, evil bad guy in the movie. Like, he's one of those villains that loves being an asshole to everyone. He even has an evil laugh in this movie, so that's how much of really they brought out this cartoon aspect of the villain. And now I want to talk about Zuko. He was actually a little shit in this movie. I was expecting him nothing more to be than this cute little baby ape that the audience could fawn over, but no, he's actually a feisty little son of a bitch. I mean, there was part of the movie where he fights with Kong, and then he fights with the Scar King, and then at the end of the movie, he does this thing that pretty much brings the final fight to an end. But yeah, I really enjoyed I kind of like Zuko. I like how he played off with Kong, and him and Kong kind of built this relationship with each other. And then there was Shimo, the big white kaiju in this movie, and I liked she wasn't a true villain in this movie. She was more like just this slave kaiju that was being abused and controlled by the Scar King to get her to do what he wants. And 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 um and of course there's this big famous monster that comes back in the movie, and spoilers at this point in the movie. And if like you haven't seen the movie yet, I suggest don't, if you've seen the movie yet, just don't watch this beyond the video beyond this point. But the other big monster that comes back is of course Mothra. And I knew she was going to come back beforehand, because I've seen hints of her in the trailers, in the movie trailers, and of course there's been spoiler leaks of her on the internet. So I knew she was gonna come back, and I did really enjoy her appearance in the movie. And she does serve a purpose in the movie. She's just not there for the sake of being there. Which mostly, her main role is mostly stopping Godzilla and Kong from fighting each other, and come together to, fight the Scar King. And then she, in the final fight, she does help in the final fight, and helps protect the portals that link between the Hollow Earth and the surface world. And she definitely looks a lot better than she did in King of the Monsters. She has more of this orangey glow look to her, and it definitely looks more homage to her how she looked in the Godzilla franchise from Japan. And now we go on to the human characters. I thought they were all just fine. I didn't expect a whole lot for them. I didn't expect them to get much screen time, and I didn't expect them to get a huge lot of character development, because that's not what this movie is for. We're here for just to see all the monsters fight. So I did enjoy them for what they were. The character I enjoyed most was Trapper, and I didn't think I would like him very much at first, but he just had this very fun, charismatic, energetic personality to him, and he was pretty much the Steve Irwin in this movie, because he pretty much the one that takes care of the monsters whenever they get hurt or sick. And yeah, he was just a really fun character in the movie. And then there was, of course, Gia. She was still good in the movie. She's still pretty much the heart of the movie. Even though she doesn't get as much interactions with Kong as she did in Godzilla vs. Kong, but still her scenes with Kong are really good. And of course, and then later on she becomes sort of the chosen one of the Iwi tribe, and I guess it's okay, because then she serves more of a purpose in the movie. And then there was Irene. I thought she was just okay in the movie. She mostly just serves her role in the movie, which is being the mother to Gia, and then being the person that's explains a lot of stuff in the movie. Uh, and then there was Barney. I didn't really care for him in this movie just as much as I didn't care for him in Godzilla vs. Kong. I mean, he did have some funny moments, but as the movie went along, it just got annoying because he wouldn't shut up in scenes where they're supposed to be cool, supposed to be quiet, and because that he ruined a lot of scenes. So yeah, I just didn't care for him all that much. Some complaints I did have with the movie. I think it is a really fast-paced movie with a lot of action, and it does take a lot to process it all. I think the ending was pretty rushed. Like, the final fight scene was pretty rushed. And the ending of the movie was also pretty rushed. Like, things resolve really quickly. And, I wish there was a little more Godzilla in the movie. Like, you mostly see him in the beginning, little scenes here and there throughout the movie, and then the most screen time he gets is he finally teams up with Kong and the final fight. Like, yeah, I wanted more Godzilla in this movie because it is partially his movie too. And I also wished Godzilla and Kong had teamed up earlier in the movie. Like, they team up really late in the movie, and so they don't spend a lot of time with each other. Excuse me. Yeah, they don't spend a lot of time with each other, and they don't spend a lot of time interacting with each other, so, like, I would have liked it better if they spent more time interacting with each other. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I have to say of the movie. I did really enjoy it, despite my complaints. It's just a really fun, action-centered monster movie. If you're like a kid and you really like those action, filled movies, then this is pretty much the perfect Godzilla movie for you. Um, yeah. I I was like, I really hope that these monster movies continue after this. Like, I don't want to see them suddenly die off. Suddenly die after this movie, because now that Mothra's back, I do want to see more of her. And I really want to see more Godzilla-focused movie, because with the previous two movies, Godzilla's been kind of the secondary character. And, I just want my main favorite character to come back to the forefront of these movies. So, yeah. I was really worried about this movie at first because of Adam Wingard. I'm not a huge fan of this filming style. It's very 80s-esque movie style, but I'm glad that I wasn't disappointed with this movie. That it really brought up my expectations. So, that's pretty much all I have to say on this movie. Okay, bye.